Hello students, welcome once again to our online classes, and in today's class we will discuss the physical properties and chemical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Basically the chemical properties part will take 2 or 3 classes, so it's not possible to bind up the chemical reactions in the single class. So we will start the chemical reactions and then we will continue it to the next 2 or 3 class. Okay, so let's start with the physical properties first. Now in physical properties we will discuss the boiling points, melting points, solubility, etc. Okay, so first of all let's discuss the melting point and boiling point of the haloalkanes. Now see, we know that the haloalkanes have polar covalent bond, right? We have discussed it already in the nature of CX bond. Now due to presence of this polar covalent bond, these compounds show dipole-dipole van der Waals interaction. Dipole-dipole interaction. And due to this dipole-dipole interaction, they may have slightly higher values of boiling and melting points. Now see, the van der Waals interactions are directly proportional to the size or the surface area, we can say. Now larger the size of the compound or molecule, larger will be the van der Waals interaction of any type. So suppose if we compare alkyl fluoride, alkyl chloride, alkyl bromide and alkyl iodide, which one will have higher value of boiling points? Now if we think it in the terms of dipole moment, our answer may be wrong, because we know that the dipole moment of fluorine is larger. That's why the charge separation in alkyl fluoride is larger and the charge separation in alkyl iodide is the smallest. But we also know that the size of fluorine is smaller compared to chlorine, bromine, and iodine has the largest size. And I told you that van der Waals interactions are directly proportional to the size. That means their order of melting point or boiling point will be this. Okay, so fluoroalkanes has the least boiling or melting points, then iodoalkanes has the highest boiling or melting points. The reason is size. Now what in case if we maintain the halo group common and we change in the alkane chain? Okay, I hope you have noted it down. Now see, I'm talking about different kind of examples, like suppose we have CH3Cl, CH3CH2Cl, CH3CH2CH2Cl, and so on. If we keep on increasing the alkyl chain, then what will be observation in boiling points? Now see, here halogen group is common, which means the size of this chlorine atom is same in all these 3 compounds. Now see, here alkyl chain is getting elongated, and due to elongation in alkyl chain, its surface area will also increased, and higher the surface area, more will be the van der Waals interactions. That means the larger alkyl chain will have higher value of boiling or melting points. Okay, so this is the increasing order of boiling point. Now what happens if number of carbon atoms in alkyl chain is common but the type of chain is different, which means the branching we may consider in the same alkyl chain, which is we call it chain isomers. Suppose we have normal butyl bromide, then we have secondary butyl bromide, then we have tertiary butyl bromide. Now what happens in this case? What will be the observation in the values of boiling points? Now see, when we are dealing with branching, we know that the surface area of this alkyl chain is decreasing, and due to this their boiling point and melting point will also decrease. That means here this N-butyl bromine has the highest value of boiling point, then this second one, and then last one. Now let's also discuss the boiling points of haloarenes. Okay, let us take some example like fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Can you tell me which one is having higher boiling point? Absolutely, due to the large size of iodine, it will have highest boiling point. And what in case if we have more than one halo group? Suppose if we have orthodichlorobenzene, metadichlorobenzene and paradichlorobenzene. Now see, the dipole moment of ortho is greatest, then meta, and the dipole moment of para is the lowest, or we can say 0. So according to our thinking or concept, this should be the order of their boiling points, which means the ortho should have higher boiling point than meta, and meta should have higher boiling point than the para. But actually there is exception or abnormality. The ortho one have the highest boiling point, then para have higher boiling point than the meta. Now why this is happening here? This is happening here because of symmetry of para isomers, and due to this symmetry these isomers fits in crystal lattice better as compared to ortho and meta, because these are generally the solids. Okay, so their crystalline packing will be greater in the para. Okay, so this is all about the melting point and boiling point. Now we will discuss about their solubility. So before discussing the solubility, let us solve these questions. Arrange the following in decreasing order of boiling points. First question is bromomethane, bromoform, chloroethane and dibromomethane. Okay, let's draw these structures. This is bromomethane, bromoform is CHBr3, then chloroethane is C2H5Cl and dibromomethane is CH2Br2. Okay, now see, when we compare these four compounds, this one will have highest melting point or boiling point. Why? Because here there are 3 bromine atoms are present. So the second one, then after then fourth one. Now see, when we compare these two, we know that the size of bromine is larger, so then it comes first one and then third one. This will be the answer. Now look at the second example, 1-chloropropane, isopropyl chloride and 1-chlorobutane. You can see here there is one haloatom which is chlorine, and there is variation in the alkyl chain. Here the alkyl chain is propane, here it is isopropyl, and here it is butane. So the larger alkyl chain will have higher boiling point, that means third, then first one because there is less branching, and then second one. Okay, so that's the method to solve these kind of problems. Now let's discuss the solubility. Now these haloalkanes are very less soluble in water because of presence of non-polar alkyl chains. Obviously these are polar molecules, but their polarity is very less, so these are less soluble in water, but these are soluble in organic solvents. Okay, organic solvents like benzene, CCl4, etc. These are soluble in that. Okay, so that's about the physical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Now we will discuss the chemical properties of haloalkanes first, and then after that we will discuss the chemical properties of haloarenes. So generally their characteristic reaction is nucleophilic substitution reactions. A part of them, they also show elimination reactions and reaction with metals. So all these reactions are very important, especially this nucleophilic substitution reaction. And in nucleophilic substitution reaction of haloalkanes, we will discuss its stereo aspects. We will discuss that how inversion of configuration takes place, how the retention of configuration or the racemization of configuration takes place. All these things we are going to learn in this nucleophilic substitution reaction. So let's start with the nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now what is nucleophilic substitution reaction? In haloalkanes, we know that this carbon halogen bond is polar, that's why there is partially negative charge on halogen and partially positive charge on the carbon. And due to this positive charge, this carbon atom is an active site for the nucleophilic attack. So any nucleophile, now what is nucleophile? Any species which have negative charge or lone pairs are called nucleophile, means nucleus loving species. Okay, so any nucleophile will react with haloalkane, and what happens, the nucleophile will be attached with carbon chain and the halo group will be removed in the form of halide ion. This is the basic nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now this nucleophilic substitution reaction proceeds through two type of mechanisms, which is called SN1 and SN2 mechanisms. SN1, here 1 and 2 represents the order of that mechanism. That means this SN1 is first order reaction and this SN2 is second order reaction. Okay, it is also called substitution nucleophilic unimolecular. It is also called substitution nucleophilic bimolecular. So we will discuss their mechanism in detail, and this is very important. Okay, And we in case of SN1 and SN2, the reactivity of different type of halo compounds like 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree halo compounds will be different. We will discuss all these things. Before that, let us have a clear idea about the nucleophiles. We must know that how many types of nucleophiles may be present in a reaction, so that we can predict the order or the product correctly. Okay, so this is a table related with the complete list of nucleophiles. Here in this table there are some very important things which I will tell you. Okay, so if we take NaOH or KOH, we know that this OH negative is the nucleophile. And what will happen when this OH negative reacts with RX? It will replace the X with OH, or alcohol will be formed. So similarly, you will list all these nucleophiles and you have to remember it very clearly. Now see, water. In water, the oxygen atom has the lone pair, that's why it is also nucleophile, and when it reacts with haloalkanes, alcohols are formed. In case of NaOR, OR negative is the nucleophile and ethers are formed. In case of NaI, I negative and Ri will be formed. We have studied this reaction in method of preparation also. Which reaction was that? Recall. It was halogen exchange reaction. Okay. Then if we take ammonia, ammonia is nucleophile because of presence of lone pair on nitrogen, and after the reaction amines will be formed. In case of alkyl amine, higher alkyl amines will be formed. That means if one carbon atom is present in the amines, then another carbon atom will be also attached after the reaction. So higher amines or the secondary amine from first 1 degree amine, product will be 2 degree amine, and from 2 degree amines product will be 3 degree amine. Here you can see this is 2 degree amine, and after the reaction product will be 3 degree amines, because nitrogen will attack on RX and this R group will be attached with the nitrogen. So if it is ammonia, then alkylamine will be formed. If it is alkylamine, then dialkylamine will be formed, and if it is dialkylamine, trialkylamine will be formed. Now the next two nucleophiles are very important. Look at these. If we take potassium cyanide, then the nucleophile is Cn negative and the attacking site is the carbon. That means nitriles or the cyanide compounds will be formed. But if we take AgCN, then the nucleophile is AgCN, or we can say Nc negative, and here isocyanides will be formed or isonitriles will be formed. Now why this is happening, we will discuss in a short while. Similarly, when you take KNO2, alkyl nitrite will be formed, which means bond is forming from oxygen, and if you take AgNO2, nitroalkanes will be formed, which means bond is formed by nitrogen. Okay, so here it is ONO and here it is NO2. So this is called nitrite and this is called nitro group. Again, this is very important. Then if you take acetate, then esters will be formed. if you take LiAlH4, lithium tetrahydride aluminium, lithium aluminium tetrahydride, then H negative will be nucleophile and alkanes will be formed. And if you take the organometallic compound like RLi or RNA, etc., so there R negative is the nucleophile, which means carbanion is the nucleophile, and higher alkanes will be formed. So this is the complete list of nucleophiles, and here some things or some nucleophiles are very important like KCN, AgCN, KNO2, AgNO2, etc. Why? Because in these nucleophiles different type of products are formed. When you take KCN, cyano compounds are formed. When you take AgCN, isocyanide is formed. When you take KNO2, nitrite is formed. And when you take AgNO2, nitro compounds are formed. Okay, so note all these nucleophiles, and we will practice all these nucleophiles in the application of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now see, we know that the KCN gives the cyanide compounds, whereas AgCN gives isocyanide compounds. Now why this happens? This happens because KCN is the ionic compound, which means K positive and Cn negative are binded with ionic bond. But in AgCN there is a covalent bond. So here in Cn negative ion, it shows two types of resonating structures. The first one in which negative charge on nitrogen, and the second one in which negative charge on carbon. And negative charge on carbon is more reactive. That's why RCN, cyano compounds, will be formed. But in case of AgCN, because there is covalent bond, this carbon will not attack on Rx, so the lone pair present on the nitrogen will be attacked, and we will get RNC, isocyanides. Okay, so this is a important concept which may be asked in exam. Now we will discuss both SN1 and SN2 mechanisms. Let's discuss the SN2 mechanism first. So as I already told you that this is a second order reaction. This takes place in a single step, and second order means that two molecules will take part in the RDS step. Because this reaction proceeded in single step, so that only step is the RDS step. Now this statement is very important. The inverted product is formed as the product in the SN2 mechanism. It is called inversion of configuration, or this is also called Walden inversion. Now what is inversion of configuration? I will tell you, and the reason behind inversion is this last point. Nucleophile attacks from the reverse side of the leaving group or halogen. Now see, this is the haloalkane and this chlorine is the leaving group. Okay, so this nucleophile will attack from reverse side of the leaving group, and this leaving group will leave the carbon atom. Now there will be a transition state formed in which the carbon chlorine bond is in the phase of breaking and carbon OH bond or carbon oxygen bond is in the phase of formation. So this bond will be formed and this bond will be broken, and after product we can see that OH is attached and Cl negative is removed. Now can you tell me what will be the direction of OH if we consider the 3D structure of these compounds? We can clearly see that the direction of OH is reverse than the direction of chlorine. That means after completion of the reaction, the configuration of reactant while converting into product will be changed. Here you can see that chlorine is present at the right side and OH is present at the left side. So their configuration will be inverted. This is called inversion of configuration. Okay. Now see, because the nucleophile is attacking from the reverse side of leaving group, so can you tell me, if we consider 1 degree haloalkane, 2 degree haloalkane and 3 degree haloalkanes, in which haloalkane the nucleophile can easily attack from the reverse side? Is it 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree? So the nucleophile will attack in that reactant easily in which there is less hindrance on the reverse side of the leaving group or haloatom. So we can see that in 3 degree there are 3 methyl groups which will hinder this halogen atom to leave. So the reactivity will be 1 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 3 degree in SN2 mechanism. This is very important. What will be the reactivity? The 1 degree will show more reactivity than the 2 degree and 2 degree will show more reactivity than 3 degree. And what is the reason behind this? The reason is that in 1 degree there is less hindrance, so that nucleophile can easily approach from the reverse side of the leaving group. Here you can see in this diagram also, this is methyl halide, this is ethyl halide, this is isopropyl halide, this is tertiary butyl halide. Okay, and these are the value of their reactivity: 30, 1, 0.02 and 0. That means in 3 degree halide the possibility of SN2 mechanism is 0, and this kind of mechanism is not possible or cannot be imagined in 3 degree alkyl halides. Okay, so I hope you are clear about the reactivity. Please note it down: 1 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 3 degree. Now we will discuss the mechanism of SN1 type. Now what happens in SN1 mechanism? It proceed in 2 steps. The first step will be slow or rate determining step, and the second step will be fast step. Now in RDS step or slow step, only one molecule will take part. That's why it is unimolecular or first order reaction. So it completes in 2 steps, but in RDS step only one molecule takes part, and SN2 was reverse of this. That reaction completed in 1 step, but 2 molecules took part in that step. Okay, now here an carbocation intermediate will be formed, and due to this formation of carbocation intermediate, the nucleophile may attack from either side of the carbocation. So SN2 में क्या था, SN2 में कोई इंटरमीडिएट नहीं बन रहा था, सिर्फ एक ट्रांजिशन स्टेट बन रही थी जिसमें कार्बन हेलोजन बॉन्ड वाज इन द फेज ऑफ ब्रेकिंग एंड कार्बन न्यूक्लियोफाइल बॉन्ड वाज इन द फेज ऑफ फॉर्मेशन एंड डायरेक्टली प्रोडक्ट वाज फॉर्म्ड. बट इन केस ऑफ SN1 पहले लीविंग ग्रुप चला जाएगा बॉन्ड को ब्रेक करके और कार्बन पे ट्रू पॉजिटिव चार्ज जनरेट हो जाएगा विच इज कॉल्ड कार्बोकेटाइन. नाउ we know that the hybridization of carbocation is sp2 and the shape is trigonal planar. तो planar because इसकी shape है तो न्यूक्लियोफाइल जो है वो अपर साइड और डाउन साइड दोनों तरफ से इक्वल प्रोबेबिलिटी के साथ अटैक कर सकता है. और जब न्यूक्लियोफाइल इक्वल प्रोबेबिलिटी के साथ अटैक करेगा तो इन्वर्जन वाला भी प्रोडक्ट 50% बनेगा और सेम कॉन्फ़िगरेशन वाला प्रोडक्ट भी 50% बनेगा. तो इन्वर्जन 50% है और 50% है रिटेंशन ऑफ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. और जब दोनों प्रोडक्ट्स 50-50 बन जाएंगे तो इस टाइप के मिक्सचर को हम बोलते हैं रेसिमिक मिक्सचर. आगे कल की क्लास में हम स्टीरियोकेमिकल एस्पेक्ट को जो है और क्लियरली पढ़ेंगे. बट आई थिंक आपको इतना समझ में आ गया होगा कि in case of SN1 reaction nucleophile will attack from both sides. both side का मतलब जिधर हेलोजन है उधर की तरफ से भी अटैक कर सकता है और उसके रिवर्स साइड से भी अटैक कर सकता है बिकॉज हेलोजन एटम ऑलरेडी रिमूव हो चुका है इन द फर्स्ट स्टेप विच इज कॉल्ड RDS स्टेप. सो हियर 50% प्रोडक्ट इज फॉर्म्ड विद इन्वर्जन ऑफ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन एंड 50% विद रिटेंशन ऑफ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. सो दिस इज द important points of SN1 mechanism. Now see, suppose we are considering this reaction in 3-degree bromo alkane. When we go through nucleophilic substitution, so हम पढ़ चुके हैं कि 3-degree alkane में हेलो एल्केन में SN2 की पॉसिबिलिटी तो नहीं है. That means in 3-degree alkanes only and only SN1 mechanism is possible, right? So product क्या बनेगा यहाँ पे, अल्कोहल बनेगा. देखिए ये फर्स्ट स्टेप है. फर्स्ट स्टेप में क्या हुआ, ये ब्रोमीन यहाँ से जा चुका है. So Br negative is removed from here and this carbocation is formed. 3-degree carbocation is formed. So we know that 3-degree carbocation is more stable than 2-degree and then 1-degree. So the SN1 in SN1 mechanism the 3-degree haloalkanes have the higher reactivity. Okay, so in SN2 the order was 1-degree greater than 2-degree greater than 3-degree, but in SN1 the order is reversed. So what we can say that in 3-degree only SN1 is possible, right? So after formation of this carbocation, because it is planar, now the nucleophile may attack from either side. So here this product and this product will be formed with equal probability. Okay, this is with retention of configuration and this is with inversion of configuration. Again I'm telling you that we will discuss the stereochemical aspect in detail in tomorrow's class. Okay, so let's see their reactivity. The 3-degree halide are more reactive for SN1 and the 1-degree halide are more reactive for SN2. So when we move from 3-degree to 2-degree to 1-degree to methyl halide, the probability of SN2 increases and the probability of SN1 decreases. Okay, so this is the reactivity order. Now if allylic or benzylic halides are considered, only SN1 mechanism will be there. Whether it is 1 degree or 2 degree or 3 degree, doesn't matter, the mechanism will be SN1. Now why so? Because the carbocation formed is more stable due to resonance. So in allylic this carbocation will be formed, and in benzylic this carbocation will be formed. Okay, so in these kind of halides, only and only SN1 mechanism is possible. Okay, because when this halogen will leave this allylic or benzylic position, the carbocations formed are more stable due to resonance. Okay, now see what will be the reactivity of alkyl halides for SN1 and SN2. We are not talking about their nature like 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, no. We are talking about different haloalkanes like fluoroalkane, chloroalkane, bromoalkane. Now we know that iodine has larger size, which means this bond is weaker compared to carbon fluorine. So the weaker bond will be easily broken, or the halogen bonded with weaker bond will easily leave that carbon atom. So substitution reaction will be faster in those haloalkanes in which iodine is present. So alkyl iodide are more reactive than alkyl bromide, then chloride, and then fluoride very rarely show nucleophilic substitution reactions, right? So this is the reactivity of halides. Now two type of reactivities we have studied. First, their nature of carbon atom. So in SN1 the reactivity was 3 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 1 degree, because 3 degree carbocation is more stable. And in SN2 the reactivity was 1 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 3 degree, because in 1 degree the attack from reverse side is more feasible, more easily. Now see, you have to tell me that which one will undergo SN2 reaction faster in these two and among these two. Now see here, this is chlorine, this is also chlorine, this is 1 degree chlorine or 1 degree chloroalkane, this is 2 degree chloroalkane. So SN2 will be faster in 1 degree. So this one is faster for SN2 reaction compared to the second one. And in case of this one, both are 1 degree, but here the halo group is iodine and here the halo group is chlorine. So iodine one will be more reactive for SN2 as well as SN1, because carbon iodine bond is weaker. Now see the second question, predict the order of reactivity of the following compounds in SN1 and SN2. So you have to tell that which reaction is possible, whether SN1 or SN2. The first question is the 4 isomeric bromobutanes. Now what you will do, you will form the isomers of bromobutane. Okay, 4 possible isomers. This one. Can you tell me in which one SN1, SN2 reactivity order will be there? So in this one SN2 will be greatest, and in this one SN1 will be greatest because it is 3 degree. And when we compare these two, the SN2 will be greatest in this one compared to this one. Okay, so on the basis of their structures, you will arrange them into their reactivity. And the second question is, okay, so this is first one, then okay, so bromine is attached here. Okay, so this is also phenyl ring. Third one is CH3 and bromine. So it is also 2 degree, it is also 2 degree, but here both groups are phenyl rings, and here one is phenyl ring, second one is methane, and the last one is C6H5 carbon, C6H5 methyl and bromine. So this is 1 degree, this is these second and third is 2 degree, and the fourth one is 3 degree. So the reactivity of SN2 will be maximum in first, then minimum in fourth, and when we compare second and third, can you tell me which group is less sterically hindered? This third one in which methyl group is present, here less hindrance is there compared to, so 1, 3, 2, 4, this will be the reactivity for SN2, and in case of SN1 it will be greatest in fourth one, lowest in first one, and when we compare second and third, in second both are the phenyl rings, so resonance will be higher. So fourth, second, then third, then 1. So this is the reactivity orders. Okay, so you can note it down. Now in next class we will discuss the stereochemical aspect of nucleophilic substitution reactions. This is very important topic. Okay, and then after that we will start elimination reaction and reaction with metals. Okay, then after that we will start the chemical properties of haloarenes, and then we will finish this chapter. So that's all in today's class. So I request you to revise organic chemistry every day. That is the only method that you can remember the organic chemistry. So thank you for joining today's class. We'll meet again in next class. Thank you.